Hello, my dear students. Welcome to economics classes for 12th standard. We are doing IED, Indian Economic Development. This is chapter number 7, that is poverty. And today we'll learn about this chapter, whole chapter with your Jerry sir. So let's start the video. So we are studying today chapter number 7 of Indian Economic Development, that is poverty. Okay. So what is poverty means here? Actually, poverty is the inability to fulfill the basic requirements of life. And these requirements are food, clothing, housing, and now we have added two more that are education and health facilities. The people who is not able, or the family which is not able to to satisfy these things, they are come under poverty. Okay, clear? They are called poor. So the two variants of poverty are relative poverty and absolute poverty. Now if we talk about relative poverty, so relative poverty you can say comparative poverty. So poverty of one set, or you can say one group of people in relation to the other. It means they are comparing. They can compare people, they can compare regions, they can compare nations. If we talk about nations, so there are two type of nations like Bhutan and America. So America in compared to Bhutan is a rich country. And if we talk about Bhutan, so Bhutan in compared to America is a poor country. Okay, in the same way if we talk about regions, so Jharkhand is poor in compared to New Delhi. New Delhi having what? Because the peoples who are living in New Delhi having more per capita income in compared to Jharkhand. Okay, so these are called comparison between nations, regions, and even we can compare to people also. Okay, so these are called relative poverty. Then comes what? Absolute poverty. What is absolute poverty? Absolute poverty is called that poverty. Under this, the people those who are living below the poverty line are called absolutely poor, who are living below the poverty line. Now the question arises that what is the meaning of poverty line? So poverty line refers to the cut off point. What is this? It is the cut off points in terms of per capita expenditure that divides people of a region as poor. That how much you are earning. Okay, so that your earning will decide that you will comes under poverty line or not. So it is decided upon this one. Like rural areas, those who are earning rupees 816 per month or less are comes under the, or you can say comes below the poverty line. And in urban areas, those who are earning rupees 1000 per month or less than 1000 per month are what comes under the or comes below the poverty line. Okay, those who are consuming what 860 rupees per month in rural areas and 1000 per month in urban areas. So the people which are earning more than this, they will come above the poverty line. It means they will be not called poor. Okay, but those who are earning less than that, they will comes under the what? Poverty line. They will be called poor, or you can say absolutely poor. Okay, so poverty rate in India in 2011 and 12 it was 21.9%. In 2011-12 it was how much? 21.9%. And India covers over 50% of the absolutely poor in the world. So the all world poor, if we take example, like there are 50 crore, I'm taking example, okay, just assumption, suppose there are 50 crore poor people in world I'm talking about. So out of that 50 crore, 25 crore will be in India. As you can see, it is a fact. Okay, but that numbers are not fact, but it is that 50% of the absolutely poor are living in India only. Okay, of the world living in India only. Now percentage population below poverty line. Percentage of population, the people those who are living below the poverty line is called what? Head count ratio, or you can say what? Poverty incidence ratio. It can ask in one marks question. Okay, so here we have completed our variance of poverty and the meaning of poverty. So now we are going to discuss about the main trends, or you can say dimensions of poverty in India during the period of 1993 to 2012. So first feature is coming, number of percentage of poor in India. Those who are peoples who are poor in India, how much they are in percentage. So there was a significant decline. It means there is a decrease in the poverty ratio during this period. So it is a positive point. Let's check here. In 1994, there are 45.3% of peoples who are poor in India. 45.3% of peoples who are poor in India in 1994. And it decreases to 21.9% only in 2011 and 12. Though it is a bigger percentage still, but in compared to 45.3 it is small. So it is a positive point for what? For India. Then comes what? Rural urban poverty scenario. Now we will talk about rural urban poverty, that how much poor people are living in rural areas and how much poor people are living in urban areas. So in rural areas, the number of percentage of people who are poor, these are how much? 41.8% according to 2004-2005. Okay, which becomes how much, 25.7% only in 2011-12. And if we talk about urban areas, so it was only 25.7%. So in compared to rural areas, there was more poor peoples living in rural areas, it means village areas. So how much, 41.8% in 2004 and 5, and they become how much, 25.7% in 2011-12. If we compare to urban areas, so in urban areas there was 25.7% in 2004 and 5, but it becomes 13.7% in 2011-12. So rural poverty is getting concentrated in the agricultural labor, where we getting the more poverty due to agricultural labors and artisan household. Those who are working under this one, agriculture, those who are agricultural labor and those who are artists, they are facing more poverty. Even in urban poverty, those who are casual laborers households, they are facing the poverty. Now talk about interstate comparison. Now compare the states. If we talk about the percentage of population those who are living below the poverty line, so if we talk about Odisha, so they are 32.6% people those who are living below the poverty line. It means they are poor, absolutely poor. In Bihar, 33.7% of people, 33.7% of people are living below the poverty line. In Uttar Pradesh, 29.4%, Madhya Pradesh, 31.6%. Okay, so it is a very big percentage. But if we talk about Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, so they are less peoples or less percentage of peoples who are living below the poverty line. As you can see, only less than 10%. Less than 10% people are there who are living below the poverty line. In compared to these, where we can see almost 30%. Everyone. Okay, and if we talk about Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and Arunachal Pradesh, so they are nearly 30 to 40% peoples of total population who are living below the poverty line. So these are what main trends and dimensions of poverty in India. Now we are moving towards the very important topic of this chapter, that is causes of poverty in India. Why this poverty is spread in India? What are the causes? So there are mainly two categories, or you can say two reasons, which you can say categories in which we have classified the reasons. These are economic factors and non-economic factors. So first we will talk about economic factors. So first is coming what? Economic factors. So first point which we can read under the economic factor is what? Underutilization of natural resources. A large part of our water, forest, energy and mineral resources is either unutilized or underutilized, because India possesses a vast and rich natural resources, but we have not yet utilized the country's natural resources to the fullest extent. So this leads to a poverty. Then comes what? Outdated technology and lack of capital. This is the main problem of India. We are not upgraded towards the technology. The technology being adopted in the India is outdated. Also, the capital stock and capital formation continue to be low in India, resulting in lower production capacity and low level of employment, which leads to high level of poverty. Then comes what? Widespread unemployment. There are different forms of unemployment are there in India, like disguised unemployment. Disguised means hidden unemployment. That a place of working where the 10 people are needed, where 10 people are needed to work. Actually, there are how many people are already engaged? 15 people are engaged. So these 5 people are what? Unemployed, hidden unemployed, or we can call them disguised unemployment. Then comes underemployment. It means the people who are highly educated, they are working for peon and other you can say that low education needed job. Then seasonal unemployment, that you can say that they are based on season. In one season, winter season, they are getting what? Employment, but in summer season they are not getting the employment. So this is called seasonal unemployment. So neither job security or nor you can say regular income was there, so which leads to poverty only. Then comes what? Backwardness in agriculture. The most of the part of India is based on agriculture, and we were backward in agriculture. Inadequate supply of water, which we know that it is a problem of India. Then no, or you can say very less use of fertilizers. Even we are not using pesticides also. Even we are not using high yielding variety seeds. High yielding variety seeds are those seeds which can give us more, you can say that fruitful results in less part of land. So we are not using this type of varieties of seeds. Okay, then there is a low level of technology. We are not using the upgraded technology, which leads to low level of production. So low per hectare productivity and per capita productivity. This leads to what? Low level of income. When income will be low, so the person can't demand. So it leads to what? Poverty only. Then comes what? Inflationary pressures. What is inflationary pressure? It means the continuous increase in the prices of mass consumption goods. Those who are essential goods, their prices what? Increases very fast or very rapidly because of that low production. Okay, so it leads to poverty again. Then comes what? Inequalities of income. It is very important factor that inequalities in the distribution of wealth and income, concentration of wealth and income in few hands. It means that there are some that that inequalities, that the person who is working as a sweeper, he will get less salary, and the person who is working as a accountant, he will get more salary. Why it is like that? Because they both are doing hard work. The amount of hard work they are putting, these both are doing more hard work, but there are some inequalities which leads to poverty only. Even the persons are working more hours, but still they are getting less salary. So these are what? Inequalities of income. So these are all economic factors which leads to what? Poverty in India. Now we'll talk about non-economic factors. Now the non-economic factors which leads to poverty in India are, first one is what? Rapid rise in population. The population of India is very huge. In 2011 it was 121 crore. So it is a huge population. So it is increasing at a rapid rate, and it is also increasing at a rapid rate. It is not decreasing at all. Then the level of national income is low in compared to size of population. So these leads to what? Poverty only, because more people are there but less jobs are there, less capital income is there. So how they will eat? So they are not having to eat, they are not having to to wear clothes, they are not having shelter. These things, basic things, they don't have. That leads to poverty only. Then comes what? Social factors. Social factors like hurdles in the, these social factors which are hurdles in the way of country's development, like illiteracy. People are not going to school, they are saying no to girls education. Then ignorance, they are still they are you can say that stick to that backward thinking. Then backwardness, outdated social structures like caste system, or their law of inheritance, that though the son of king will be the next king, so this is the law of inheritance. Then unscientific outlook, these all things leads to what? Poverty only. Okay, it becomes hurdles in the way of country's development. Then comes what? Taxation and expenditure policies. Even the government have not used, or you can say effectively what, utilized the you can say taxation and expenditure policies to bridge the gap between the rich and poor. The rich become more richer and the poor become more poorer. So these all are what? Economic and non-economic factors which leads to poverty in India. So after studying the causes of poverty in India, now we will discuss about the measures by which we can remove the poverty from India. So these are, first one is what? Population control. As we have heard that increasing population was the main reason of poverty. So by controlling the population, what we can do? We can decrease the poverty. So the high growth rate of population has depressed the increase in per capita income. It has put the adverse effect on the per capita income. As a result of it, the consumption level of common man has not increased, whereas the number of poor people has been continuously increasing. Okay, hence to eradicate poverty, so in order to remove the poverty, population control is essential, very important in India. So for this, what? Family planning program has to be effectively implemented. We need to understand that the peoples need to understand that they have to control their family population. They have to do family planning, that they should not produce people that you can say that they should not give birth to that newborn babies on a continuous basis. Okay, maybe that even one slogan was given, hum do or hamare do. So they need to focus on family planning program in order to control the population of country. Then comes what? Redistribution of income. Now redistribution of income related to the inequalities of the distribution of income. It means it is essential to redistribute income in such a way that the income and consumption level of the poor increases. It means there should be some measures which should be taken to improve the condition of the poor. So for this, what they can do? They can create what? Employment opportunities for the poor and fair wages to the workers. Even they can make available goods to the poor at reasonable prices through public distribution system. Even they can implement of what? Land reform measures, and implementing what? Progressive taxation, and improving the conditions of the landless laborers, and raising the standard of living of the scheduled caste, SC, or you can say ST tribe peoples. So these will help in the redistribution of income, and it will definitely increase the standard of living of the poor people. Okay, then comes what? High rate of growth. So economic growth creates what? More resources, and has the potential of creating more space for the environment of people. So if that country's economy will having that increasing growth, so the peoples will also what? Involve in that one. So for this it is important that the production process is labor intensive, that you know that there are two type of production process, labor intensive technology and what, capital intensive technology. But as India has more population, so we need to give more chances to laborers, peoples as a labor, so that they can get employment and they can remove their poverty. So we should not only depends on technology. Okay, then comes what, development of agriculture and cottage and small scale sector. As we earlier have studied that the most of the part, or you can say percentage of peoples were engaged in agricultural activities, so it is needed to improve the agriculture level. Okay, so to develop the agriculture level and the cottage and the small sector industries also, to in order to provide more opportunities to the people so that they can remove their poverty. Then comes what, social participation. In order to involve the poor in the process of poverty eradication, we need to follow the process of what, social mobilization. It means we have to include every people from every caste, from any caste. We should not that rebuke people just because of his caste or because of her caste. So we should encourage participatory approaches and empowerment of the poor people. These are the measures for the removal of poverty in India. Even you can read about more reasons, but I have written only this much reason, 5 reasons, which are enough. I think it is enough. Even you can write more reasons from the book. Now, in order to remove the poverty from India, some special anti-poverty programs were adopted by the government also. So these were Swan Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, or you can say in short form SGSY. So it was you can say that set to remove poverty from the rural areas. It means village areas. Like, so SGSY was launched in village in 1st April 1999. Okay, so the objective of the scheme is to what? To bring the assisted poor families above the poverty line. Those who are living below the poverty line, their objective is to what? To bring them above the poverty line by organizing them into self-help groups, that is SHGS. Okay, so they will make their self-help groups, that they will help each other and they will create some employment opportunities. Then comes what? NRLM, which stands for National Rural Livelihood Mission. It means also known as Ajivika. So first implemented in 150 districts. It was first implemented in 150 districts in 2012 and 13. Then it was expanded to another 150 districts in 2014-15, and then by the end of 2016-17 it was extended to the whole country. This scheme NRLM. Okay, so it was expected from NRLM to provide self-employment to how much people? 90 lakh persons. So it was a huge number of people. Okay, so now it is also renamed as what? Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. Now it is known by this name. Okay, then comes what? Pradhan Mantri Gramodaya Yojana, which is also known as PGY. It was launched in 2001. It aims at improving the standard of living of rural people by developing 5 important areas. Now, which are the 5 important areas? This was what? Health. Okay, then primary education. If the people will get education, definitely they will get the more opportunities of employment. Then drinking water, so that they can improve their health. Then comes what? Housing. They need shelter. And then at last what? Proper roads. So these are the main important 5 areas in which that PGY has focused. Then comes what? Jai Prakash Rojgar Guarantee Yojana, which is also known as JPRGY. So this scheme seeks to provide guarantee employment. That is, it was guaranteed employment where? In most backward districts of the country, because most of the backward districts of the countries were ignored by the people, or you can say that minister. So this scheme was launched in order to provide employment to those people who are living in backward districts. Okay, then comes what? Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. This is very famous scheme. So under this act, all those who are willing to undertake unskilled manual work at the minimum wage are offered employment for minimum period of 100 days. So for 100 days they are not going to be unemployed. So this program was very famous in rural areas. Even if we talk about the people who are benefited from this program, so if these are 6.22 crore in 2014-15, and it increases to 7.77 crore in 2018-19. So it was a huge number of people which are benefited by this scheme. Then comes what? Micro Units Development Refinance Agency Bank. It means Mudra Bank. In short, Mudra Bank. So as you know that bank, what is the work of bank? Bank work is to provide credit to the needy people. So its objective is to meet the credits needs of the micro enterprises, those who are small enterprises, and self-employed persons, so that they can invest in their business, and they can invest in their program, so that they can in that generate self-employed services. Okay, so these are the what special anti-poverty programs which were adopted by the government. It was widely accepted, or you can say that that visible, that our poverty alleviation programs, or you can say PAP, poverty alleviation programs, could not achieve the desired accept results. Okay, they did not achieve the desired results. So what were the reasons for their shortfall? We are going to study them. So first one is what? Pro-rich bias. So what is pro-rich bias? Is actually the peoples which are operating within the delivery system, delivery of what? The jobs and even that labors. So they are biased in favor of articulate and educated and resourceful people as against the poor people. So poor people don't have that much resources, but those who are rich and that articulate and educated people, they are having more resources, so they are biased towards them. Okay, so they are ignoring the poor people, those who are more needy. Then comes what? Neglect of remote areas. They have completely neglected the remote areas which are that very deep in the villages. So there is the exclusion of poor households which are located in the interior parts of the villages, which are not easily accessible, so they have not put their hard work on them. Then comes what? Manipulation. It was the biggest that you can say, a scam. The social power balances, or you can social power balance in villages is often such that the local power, or you can say groups, collude with the implementation authority. Those who are powerful people of the village, they meeting with the implementation authority, and they manipulate with them, so that they can give benefit of these jobs to those who are their family persons. So even these things, and you can say that these jobs and these schemes which are provided by government, give benefits to whom? Those who are already what? Above the poverty line. So those who are genuine beneficiaries, or you can those who are genuinely poor, they did not get the benefit of these schemes. Okay, then comes what? Mismatch of priorities. There is a mismatch of the priorities of poor households with the project specification. What are the project they have launched, that government has launched, the India has launched? It may lack enough skills and resources to efficiently manage a project in the absence of complementary inputs. Now see, they have given some work to them, but that work is not possible without the machines which is needed for them, which is complementary, necessary. Without them they can't work. So they did not provide the machines, but they're saying that you complete the work. So how they can complete the work? So this type of mismatch of priorities has created what? That more poverty only. So and these things are the reasons that the programs are not as much as that successful as they are expected. So this is it for this chapter. So here we have completed our full chapter. At last, I just want to say, be safe and God bless you all.